The first time my husband hit me, it was because of a dog. Not our dog. His mistress's dog. A tiny white poodle named Princess that meant more to him than 15 years of marriage. I stood in my own kitchen with blood dripping from my lip, while my husband, Greg, screamed that I had no right to question where he'd been. Friend. Before I tell you how I went from a broken woman on a kitchen floor to the wife of the most powerful man in this city, do me a kindness. Tap subscribe. Because what happens when a quiet woman finally finds her voice? You won't want to miss a single second. My name is Linda. I'm 43 years old. For 15 years, I gave everything to my marriage. I cooked. I cleaned. I raised our 2 children alone, while Greg worked late. At least I thought he was working. The truth started with a white dog hair on his jacket. Where did this come from? I asked one evening. We don't have a white dog. Greg's face went red. Then his hand went up. The slap knocked me into the counter. I tasted copper. I saw stars. Don't ever question me again, he said. His voice was ice cold. I should have left that night. But I had nowhere to go. No money of my own. No family left. What I didn't know was that someone had been watching our house. Someone who would change my life forever. That night, I cleaned the blood from my face and went to bed alone. Greg didn't come home until 3 in the morning. He smelled like perfume. Expensive perfume. I pretended to be asleep. The next morning, I saw her. A woman standing across the street, watching our house. She wore a long gray coat and dark sunglasses. She didn't look away when I noticed her. Something about her felt familiar. Like a face from a dream I couldn't quite remember. I stepped onto the porch. Can I help you? I called out. The woman turned and walked away. But not before I saw something that made my heart stop. A small scar on her left cheek, shaped like a crescent moon. I knew that scar. I had seen it before. 20 years ago. On a girl who saved my life. Her name was Rose. We were in college together. She pulled me from a car wreck that killed 2 other students. She disappeared the next day. No one ever saw her again. And now she was standing outside my house, watching me through dark glasses. Why was she here? After all these years. I had no way of knowing that Rose wasn't just watching me. She was waiting for me. Waiting for the right moment to offer me something I didn't know I needed. A way out. A week passed. Greg hit me 2 more times. Once for serving dinner cold. Once for asking about a charge on our credit card. $300 at a pet store. For Princess, he said. The dog needed special food. I stopped asking questions. But I couldn't stop the bruises from showing. My daughter Emma, 16 years old, saw the mark on my arm during breakfast. Mom, what happened? I pulled my sleeve down fast. I bumped into the door. Emma's eyes went hard. She didn't believe me. But she didn't push. Not yet. My son Tyler was 13. He worshipped his father. Greg had convinced him that I was the problem. That I nagged too much. That I didn't appreciate how hard he worked. Tyler didn't even look at me anymore. I was losing my children. Losing my mind. Losing myself. That afternoon, I found a note tucked under the windshield wiper of my car. No name. No signature. Just 5 words that changed everything. I know what he does. And a phone number. My hands shook as I held that paper. Someone knew. Someone was watching. I should have been scared. Instead, for the first time in months, I felt something like hope. I waited until Greg left for work the next morning. Then I locked myself in the bathroom and dialed the number. A woman answered on the second ring. Hello, Linda. I almost dropped the phone. How do you know my name? I know many things, the voice said. It was calm, controlled, like a doctor explaining a surgery. I know your husband is hurting you. I know about the mistress. I know about the dog. My throat went dry. Who are you? A pause. Then, I'm someone who can help. But only if you want to be helped. What do you mean? I mean there's a way out, Linda. A real way out. Not just divorce papers that he'll fight for years. Not a shelter where you'll hide while he hunts you down. A complete new life. I thought about the bruise on my arm. The fear in my daughter's eyes. The son who wouldn't look at me. I'm listening, I whispered. Good, the voice said. Meet me tomorrow. The coffee shop on Main Street. 10 o'clock. Come alone. Tell no one. The line went dead. I stared at my reflection in the bathroom mirror. The tired eyes. The fading bruise. The woman who used to dream of so much more. Tomorrow everything will change. I just didn't know how much. The coffee shop was nearly empty when I arrived. A bell jingled over the door. The smell of roasted beans filled the air. She was sitting in the back corner. The woman from the street. Rose. She took off her sunglasses as I approached. The crescent moon scar was still there. 20 years hadn't erased it. Sit down, Linda. I sat. My hands were trembling. You saved my life, I said. In college. The car accident. Rose nodded slowly. I remember. You disappeared the next day. Why? Because I had to. She sipped her coffee. I wasn't supposed to be there that night. I was. Working. Working? I was watching someone else. Your roommate, actually. Her father owed money to some very powerful people. But then the accident happened. And I couldn't just let you die. I didn't understand. Who are you? Rose smiled. It wasn't a warm smile. More like a wolf, showing its teeth. I work for a man named Victor Chen. You've probably never heard of him. Most people haven't. But he controls more of this city than any politician or businessman you could name. What does that have to do with me? Everything, Rose said. Because Victor Chen wants to offer you a job. I stared at Rose like she was speaking a foreign language. A job? I'm a housewife. I haven't worked in 15 years. That's not the kind of job Victor is offering. Rose leaned forward. He needs someone. Someone smart. Someone invisible. Someone with nothing left to lose. I don't understand. Rose pulled out a folder and slid it across the table. Your husband's mistress is named Veronica Slate. She's not just some random woman. She's the daughter of Marcus Slate, the biggest real estate developer in the state. I opened the folder. Inside were photos. Greg and a beautiful blonde woman kissing in a parking lot. Greg holding that stupid white dog. Greg at a fancy restaurant I'd never been to. Marcus Slate is dirty. Rose continued. Money laundering. Bribery. He's destroyed dozens of families to build his empire. Victor Chen wants to take him down. What does that have to do with me? Your husband works for Marcus now. He's been helping hide money. That's where the late nights come from. That's why he's changed. My head was spinning. Greg wasn't just cheating. He was a criminal. Victor needs someone on the inside, Rose said. Someone Marcus would never suspect. A quiet, damaged woman looking for work. You want me to be a spy? I want you to be free, Rose said. And I want you to have something even better than freedom. What's that? Rose smiled her wolf smile again. Revenge. I should have said no. I should have walked away. Any sane person would have. But I wasn't sane anymore. 15 years of marriage to Greg had broken something inside me. Something that wanted to break him back. What do I have to do? I asked. Rose explained everything. Victor Chen ran a legitimate business on the surface, a huge tech company called Chen Industries. But underneath, he controlled an empire that made Marcus Slate look like a small-time crook. The difference? Victor had rules. He never hurt innocent people. He only targeted those who deserved it. Marcus Slate had stolen from Victor's family 20 years ago, destroyed his father's business, drove his mother to suicide. Victor had been waiting for the right moment ever since. Your job is simple, Rose said. Get close to Veronica. Become her friend. Find evidence of her father's crimes. When you have enough, we take them all down, Marcus, Veronica, and your husband. And in return, money, protection, a new life for you and your children. And one more thing. Rose slid another photo across the table. A man. Tall. Dark hair. Eyes that seemed to look right through me. This is Victor Chen. He wants to meet you. Tonight. I picked up the photo. Something stirred in my chest. Something I hadn't felt in years. Okay, I said. I'll do it. I had no idea what I was agreeing to. Rose drove me to a building downtown. 50 floors of black glass that reflected the sunset like a dark mirror. Chen Industries. Victor's kingdom. The elevator took us to the top floor. The doors opened to a space that looked more like an art museum than an office. White walls. Strange sculptures. A view of the entire city through floor-to-ceiling windows. A man stood at the window with his back to us. Leave us, he said. His voice was soft but commanding. Rose disappeared. The elevator doors closed. I was alone with Victor Chen. He turned around slowly. The photos hadn't done him justice. He was taller than I expected. More intense. His eyes were dark brown, almost black, and they studied me like I was a puzzle he was trying to solve. Linda Morrison, he said. You're smaller than I imagined. Is that a problem? No. A ghost of a smile crossed his face. Small things often cause the biggest trouble. He walked toward me. I forced myself not to step back. Rose told you what I need. She told me you want to destroy Marcus Slate. And my husband. Do you have a problem with that? I thought about the blood on my lip, the bruise on my arm, the years of silence and fear. No, I said. I don't. Victor nodded. Good. Then let's begin. He had no idea what he was starting. Neither did I. Victor explained everything that night. Marcus Slate wasn't just a real estate developer. He was the hidden king of this city's underworld. Every construction project hid money from drug deals, weapon sales, and worse. Veronica, his daughter, managed the social side of the business. She threw parties, made connections, kept powerful people happy. And Greg, my husband, had become their accountant. The man who made the dirty money look clean. Your husband is in deep, Victor said. If the authorities caught him tomorrow, he'd spend 20 years in prison. Part of me felt sick. Part of me felt satisfied. What do you need from Veronica? I asked. Access to her father's files. There's a safe in the Slate mansion. Inside is a ledger with every illegal transaction for the past decade. Names, dates, amounts. With that ledger, we can bring down the entire operation. And you think Veronica will just let me walk into her house? Not yet. Victor handed me a business card. This is a charity organization. Veronica runs it. Tomorrow, you're going to volunteer there. You'll be sweet, helpful, invisible. Over time, she'll trust you. How long will this take? As long as it needs to. Victor's eyes met mine. Are you patient, Linda? I thought about 15 years of marriage. 15 years of waiting for things to get better. 15 years of patience that got me nothing but pain. Yes, I said. I'm patient, but something in his eyes told me this wouldn't be a simple mission. The charity was called Hearts of Hope. It helped homeless families find housing. A perfect cover for the Slates, pretending to care about the poor while stealing from everyone. I showed up at 9 in the morning wearing my plainest dress. I told them my name was Linda Blake, a widow looking to give back. Veronica Slate arrived at noon. She was exactly what I expected. Blonde, beautiful, dripping with expensive jewelry. She walked through the room like she owned it because she did. And there, in her designer purse, was Princess. That stupid white poodle. The dog my husband loved more than me. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw something. Instead, I smiled and offered to help sort donations. Veronica glanced at me once. Her eyes were cold and dismissive. Who's the new one? She asked her assistant. Linda Blake. Widow. Very eager to help. Veronica shrugged. Fine. Put her on envelope duty. I spent the next 3 hours stuffing envelopes. My fingers cramped. My back ached. But I kept my head down and my ears open. By the end of the day, I learned 3 things. Veronica was planning a huge gala next month. Her father would be there, and she desperately needed help organizing it. I raised my hand at the end of the day. I'd love to help with the gala, I said sweetly. I used to plan events for my church. Veronica looked at me differently then. Not with warmth. With usefulness. Fine, she said. Be here tomorrow at 8. I had my foot in the door. The next weeks were a blur of activity. I arrived early every morning. I stayed up late every night. I did everything Veronica asked and more. I arranged flowers. I called vendors. I addressed invitations by hand because Veronica thought printed labels were tacky. Slowly, she started to notice me. You're good at this, she said one day, almost surprised. Thank you, Miss Slate. Call me Veronica. She tilted her head. You know, you remind me of someone. My heart froze. Who? I don't know. Just someone quiet. Reliable. She laughed, but it wasn't kind. Not like the other volunteers who disappear after a week. I forced a smile. I have nowhere else to be. That was the truth. Greg barely noticed I was gone. He was too busy with his late nights at the office. Emma was buried in schoolwork. Tyler didn't talk to me at all. My old life was fading away. This new life, this secret mission was becoming everything. One night, Veronica invited me to her house to review seating charts. The Slate mansion was enormous. White columns, crystal chandeliers, more rooms than any family could need, and somewhere inside, a safe with secrets that could destroy them all. I just had to find it. I found the safe by accident. Veronica stepped out to take a phone call. I was alone in her office. surrounded by folders and fabric samples. I noticed a painting on the wall. A portrait of Marcus Slate, looking smug and powerful. Something about it was wrong. The frame was tilted slightly, like someone had moved it recently and not put it back properly. I glanced at the door. Veronica's voice drifted from down the hall. She was arguing with someone about flowers. I crossed the room. My heart hammered in my chest. Behind the painting was a small safe. Digital keypad. 6 numbers. I had no idea what the code was. But I photographed everything with my phone: the safe, the keypad, the painting. Then I put everything back exactly how I found it. When Veronica returned, I was sitting calmly at the table, reviewing the seating chart. "Sorry about that," she said. "Florists are idiots." "No problem," I said. "I finished the table assignments while you were gone." She looked at me with something almost like respect. That night, I sent the photos to Rose. Her response came within minutes. "Victor needs to see you. Tomorrow. Urgent." Something was happening. Something big. I just didn't know if it was good or bad. I met Victor in his office the next night. This time, he wasn't standing at the window. He was sitting at his desk, surrounded by files. His face was tired. His eyes were troubled. "You found the safe faster than we expected," he said. "Is that a problem?" "No. It means we're ahead of schedule." He paused. "But there's something you need to know, Linda, before we go any further." "What?" Victor stood up and walked to the window. The city glittered below us like a sea of diamonds. 20 years ago, my father built this company from nothing. He was an immigrant, a dreamer. He believed that hard work could conquer anything. His voice grew heavy. Marcus Slate didn't agree. He wanted what my father had. So he took it. He bribed officials. He forged documents. He destroyed my father's reputation and stole his life's work. "What happened to your father?" Victor's jaw tightened. "He killed himself. 1 year after losing everything." The room felt colder suddenly. My mother followed him 6 months later. "A broken heart," they said. Victor turned to face me. I was 18 years old. Alone. Destroyed. I saw it then. Behind the power and the money. Behind the cold control. Pain. Just like mine. "I'm sorry," I whispered. "Don't be sorry," Victor said. "Be ready. Because when we take down Marcus Slate, there's no going back." I looked into his eyes. "I'm ready." 2 weeks before the gala, everything accelerated. Rose trained me on the safe security system. Apparently, it was military grade. 6-digit code that changed weekly. "The only person who knows the code is Marcus himself," Rose explained. "He keeps it written on a card in his wallet, so I need to get his wallet. You need to get close enough to see the card." During the gala, when he's distracted, it sounded impossible. Marcus Slate was always surrounded by bodyguards. He trusted no one. But I had one advantage. I was invisible. To people like Marcus, women like me didn't exist. We were furniture. Background noise. That's what made me perfect for this job. Meanwhile, at home, things were getting worse. Greg came home drunk one night and threw a plate at my head. It shattered against the wall. Emma heard the crash and locked herself in her room. The next morning, I saw my daughter looking at apartments online. "What are you doing?" I asked. Her eyes were hard. "Planning my escape." "You should do the same." She knew. Maybe she'd known for a long time. "Soon," I promised her. "Very soon." Emma looked at me like she didn't believe me. I couldn't blame her. But she had no idea what was coming. 3 days before the gala, Greg found out. Not about Victor. Not about the mission. Something worse. He found the photos. I had hidden them in a shoebox in my closet. The photos from Rose's folder. Greg and Veronica kissing. Greg holding that stupid dog. I came home to find him sitting at the kitchen table. The photos spread out in front of him like a hand of cards. His face was purple with rage. "Where did you get these?" My blood turned to ice. He was across the room before I could move. His hand closed around my throat. He slammed me against the wall. "Who have you been talking to?" He squeezed tighter. "Answer me." I couldn't breathe. Stars exploded in my vision. "Dad, stop." Emma's voice cut through the nightmare. She was standing in the doorway. Her phone raised, recording everything. Greg released me like I was on fire. I collapsed to the floor, gasping. "Emma, give me that phone," Greg said slowly. "No." Emma's voice didn't shake. "If you ever touch her again, this video goes to the police. To Grandma. To everyone." Father and daughter stared at each other. Then Greg grabbed his keys and walked out the door. Emma knelt beside me, tears streaming down her face. We have to leave, Mom. Tonight. She was right. We were out of time. Rose arrived within the hour. She took us to a safe house on the edge of the city. A small apartment above a hardware store. Plain but clean. Emma sat on the couch, still clutching her phone. Tyler wasn't with us. He had refused to come. He said I was crazy. He said his father never did anything wrong. My son chose Greg. The pain of that choice nearly broke me. He'll understand someday, Rose said quietly. Will he? She didn't answer. That night, Victor called. I heard what happened. Are you okay? No, I admitted. But I'm still going to the gala. A long pause. You don't have to. We can find another way. There is no other way. My voice was steel. Marcus Slate's party. His safe. His secrets. I'm the only one who can get close enough. It's dangerous. I don't care anymore. Another pause. Then, come to my office tomorrow. I have something for you. The line went dead. I looked at my reflection in the window. The woman staring back was a stranger. Stronger. Colder. Ready for war. Greg had created a monster. Now that monster was coming for him. Victor's office was different the next day. The lights were dimmer. Candles flickered on his desk. And hanging on a stand in the corner was the most beautiful dress I had ever seen. Deep blue silk. Covered in tiny crystals that caught the light like stars. For the gala, Victor said. You'll need to look the part. I touched the fabric. It felt like water. This must have cost thousands. It's an investment, Victor said. In you. In this mission. In justice. I looked up at him. We were standing close now. Closer than we'd ever been. Why me? I asked. Of all the people you could have chosen, why me? Victor's dark eyes searched my face. Because you're strong. Because you survived things that would have destroyed anyone else. Because, he hesitated. Because when I look at you, I see someone who deserves better. My heart was pounding. Victor, try on the dress, he said abruptly, stepping back. Make sure it fits. The moment passed. But something had shifted between us. A door had opened. I took the dress into the next room. When I emerged, Victor's face told me everything. His eyes went wide. His breath caught. You're beautiful, he whispered. For the first time in 15 years, I believed it. The Slate mansion blazed with light. Hundreds of guests in tuxedos and gowns filled the ballroom. Champagne flowed. An orchestra played. Everything sparkled and gleamed. I arrived alone. My blue dress drew stares. Whispers followed me across the room. Who is she? Where did she come from? I spotted Veronica near the grand staircase, holding Princess and laughing at some rich man's joke. Then I saw Greg. He was standing with Marcus Slate himself. Laughing. Drinking. Like he didn't have a care in the world. Like he hadn't tried to choke his wife 3 days ago. Rage burned in my chest. I forced it down. Not yet. Not here. First, I needed the code. I drifted through the party. Invisible despite my dress. Just a woman. Just furniture. Marcus moved to a quiet corner to check his phone. His wallet bulged in his jacket pocket. This was my chance. I accidentally bumped into him, spilling champagne on his sleeve. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. I grabbed napkins, dabbing at his jacket. Watch where you're going, Marcus growled. Please, let me help. His wallet fell open during the commotion. Just for a second. But a second was all I needed. I saw the card. 6 numbers written in blue ink. 4, 9, 3, 7, 2, 1. I had it. I excused myself to the bathroom. My hands were shaking. I typed the code into my phone and sent it to Rose. Her response came immediately. Go now. 3rd floor. East wing. You have 10 minutes. 10 minutes. That's all the time they could buy me. I slipped through the crowded ballroom and up the back staircase. The 3rd floor was quiet. Guarded. But Rose had arranged a distraction. A fire alarm in the kitchen. Suddenly, guards were running everywhere. I found Marcus's office. The door was unlocked. Inside, the portrait of his smug face stared down at me. I swung it open. The safe gleamed in the dim light. 4, 9, 3, 7, 2, 1. The door clicked open. Inside was a black leather ledger. Years of crimes in neat handwriting. Names. Numbers. Dates. I photographed every page. Dozens of pictures. Evidence that would destroy an empire. Then I closed the safe, replaced the painting, and walked out like I owned the place. I was almost to the stairs when a hand grabbed my shoulder. "What are you doing up here?" I turned. Greg's face was inches from mine. Greg's eyes were wild, confused. Then understanding dawned. "Linda? What the hell? Let go of me. You're not supposed to be here." His grip tightened. "What are you doing at this party? What are you doing in this dress?" I tried to pull away. I said, "Let go." "Is this about the affair? About Veronica?" His face twisted. "You pathetic, jealous." I slapped him. The sound echoed down the empty hallway. Greg's face went white with shock. In 15 years, I had never raised a hand to him. "Things are different now," I said quietly. "I'm different. Who are you?" He stared at me like I was a stranger. "Someone who's done being your victim." I pulled free and walked toward the stairs. "This isn't over," Greg called after me. "Do you hear me? This isn't over." I didn't look back. Downstairs, the party continued. No one had noticed me gone. I found Rose near the exit. She took one look at my face and nodded. "Time to go." We slipped into the night. Behind us, the Slate mansion glittered with false light. They had no idea what was coming. Victor reviewed the photographs in silence, page after page, crime after crime. The ledger was everything we needed and more. "This is it," he finally said. "This takes down Marcus, Veronica, everyone connected to their operation, including Greg." Victor looked at me. "Including Greg. He's on at least a dozen pages. He'll face federal charges." I thought I would feel something. Guilt, maybe. Or sadness. Instead, I felt nothing. Just cold, empty relief. What happens now? Now we prepare. In 3 days, everything goes public. Every major news outlet. Every law enforcement agency. The Slates will wake up to a nightmare. 3 days. After months of planning, it was almost over. What about Emma and me? New identities. New city. New lives. Victor stood and walked toward me. "You'll be safe. I promise." "And you?" He smiled sadly. "I've been waiting 20 years for this moment. When it's done, I don't know. Maybe I'll finally be able to sleep." I understood that feeling. The exhaustion of carrying hatred for so long. "Thank you," I said. "For everything." Victor took my hand. His touch was warm, gentle. "Thank you for being brave enough to fight." We stood there in the quiet of his office. For a moment, everything felt possible. The story hit the news like a bomb. Every channel, every website, every newspaper. Real estate mogul Marcus Slate, arrested in massive fraud scandal. Ledger reveals decades of corruption, bribery, money laundering. Daughter Veronica Slate taken into custody. I watched from the safe house with Emma beside me. She squeezed my hand as Greg's face appeared on screen. Accountant Greg Morrison arrested as key figure in Slate criminal enterprise. They showed him in handcuffs. His face pale, his eyes scared. The confident man who used to hit me looked like a frightened child. "Good," Emma whispered. "He deserves this." I nodded. But I felt hollow. Tyler called that afternoon. For the first time in weeks. My son wanted to talk to me. "Mom, what's happening?" "They're saying Dad is a criminal. They're saying he's going to prison." "It's true, baby, all of it." Silence on the line. Then, "I didn't know. I swear I didn't know." "I know. Can I come see you?" Tears rolled down my face. "Yes. Of course. I'll send someone to get you." Maybe I hadn't lost my son after all. But the story wasn't over yet. 2 days after the arrests, Rose called with a warning. Veronica made bail. She's out. My blood went cold. How is that possible? She had money hidden overseas. The courts couldn't touch it. Rose's voice was tight. "Linda, she knows it was you. Someone at the gala saw you near her father's office. What is she going to do?" "I don't know. But Victor is sending extra security to the safe house. Don't go anywhere alone." I hung up and looked at my children. Emma was doing homework. Tyler was sleeping on the couch, exhausted from the emotional day. They trusted me to keep them safe. I couldn't fail them now. That night, I heard a noise outside. Footsteps on gravel. I grabbed the phone Rose had given me. One button connected directly to Victor's security team. I pressed it. Then the window shattered. A figure climbed through, glass falling like rain. Veronica Slate. Her beautiful face was twisted with rage. In her hand was a knife. You ruined everything, she screamed. Everything. My children woke up screaming. This was the moment I had feared. This was the moment I had trained for. Veronica lunged at me with the knife. I dodged. Barely. The blade sliced my arm. Pain exploded through me. Mom! Emma screamed. Get your brother out. Now. Emma grabbed Tyler and ran for the back door. Veronica swung again. I grabbed a lamp and blocked the strike. The bulb shattered. Do you know what you cost me? Veronica's voice was unhinged. My father's in prison. My reputation is destroyed. Because of you. A nobody. A pathetic housewife. She slashed again. I ducked and threw the lamp at her face. It connected. Veronica stumbled. I ran. The apartment was small. Nowhere to hide. I scrambled toward the kitchen. Veronica caught me in the hallway. She grabbed my hair and slammed me against the wall. I'm going to kill you, she hissed. Then I'm going to find your children. Something snapped inside me. 15 years of fear. 15 years of being small and quiet and invisible. No more. I headbutted Veronica as hard as I could. Her nose crunched. She screamed and dropped the knife. I grabbed it first. Stay down, I said. My voice didn't shake. Sirens wailed in the distance. Victor's security burst through the door seconds later. They found me standing over Veronica's slate, knife in hand, blood dripping down my arm. I had won. Veronica was arrested again. This time, there would be no bail. Attempted murder. Breaking and entering. Assault. She would spend years in prison. Maybe decades. A doctor stitched my arm at Victor's building. 12 stitches. A scar I would carry forever. But I didn't mind. This scar was different from the bruises Greg gave me. This scar meant I had fought back. Victor sat with me while the doctor worked. You were incredibly brave tonight, he said. I was terrified. Courage isn't the absence of fear. He took my hand. It's acting despite the fear. I looked at him. Really looked. This powerful man who had spent 20 years planning revenge. This broken boy who lost everything and rebuilt himself from nothing. We understood each other. In ways no one else could. What happens now? I asked. The trials will take months. Maybe years. But Marcus and Greg and Veronica will all face justice. And after that? Victor's eyes softened. After that? I don't know. I never planned for after. Neither had I. Maybe we could figure it out together. The trials dominated the news for months. Marcus Slate received 30 years. His empire crumbled. The buildings he stole. The families he destroyed. The lives he ruined finally. There was justice. Greg got 8 years. I didn't attend his sentencing. Emma did, though. She wanted to watch. He cried, she told me afterward, like a baby. Veronica received 15 years for the attack on me. In court, she screamed that she would destroy me when she got out. I didn't flinch. She was nothing to me now. With the trials over, Victor gave me what he promised. New identities. A new city. A new life. But I didn't take them. I don't want to run anymore, I told him. I want to build something. Here. With you. Victor stared at me for a long moment. Are you sure? I've never been more sure of anything. He smiled. A real smile this time. Not the controlled, careful expression I was used to. Then stay, he said. Please. I did. Emma went to college on a scholarship Victor arranged. She wanted to be a lawyer. To help other women escape situations like ours. Tyler lived with us during his senior year of high school. Our relationship healed slowly. He finally understood what his father really was. And me? I was no longer a victim. Victor proposed on a Tuesday morning. No fancy restaurant. No dramatic gesture. Just the two of us in his office, sunlight streaming through the windows. I never thought I'd ask anyone this, he said. I never thought I'd want to. But you changed everything, Linda. He opened a small box. Inside was a ring. Simple. Elegant. Perfect. Will you marry me? I didn't hesitate. Yes. We got married 3 months later. A small ceremony. Just family and close friends. Emma walked me down the aisle. Tyler stood beside Victor as his best man. Rose was there too, smiling in the back row. When Victor said his vows, his voice broke. You taught me that revenge isn't the only way to heal, he said. You showed me that love is possible, even after everything. I promised to spend the rest of my life being worthy of you. I cried. Everybody cried. The reception was at Victor's building. The same place where we first met. where everything began. As we danced our first dance, I thought about the journey, from the kitchen floor with a bloody lip, to a safe house with a knife in my hand, to this moment. Linda Chen. A survivor. A fighter. A wife. I had won. 2 years after the wedding, Greg got out early. Good behavior. Overcrowded prisons. The usual excuses. He showed up at my office unannounced. Yes, my office. Victor had helped me start a non-profit for domestic abuse survivors. We'd helped hundreds of women escape their own nightmares. Greg looked terrible. Gray. Thin. Broken. Linda, I need your help. I didn't invite him to sit. I can't imagine why. I lost everything. The house is gone. My savings are gone. No one will hire me. His voice cracked. I have nothing. I thought about the years of abuse. The fear. The pain. The night he choked me in front of our daughter. You should have thought about that before. I said, please. For old time's sake. You're the only one who can help me. I leaned forward. Let me tell you something, Greg. I used to be terrified of you. I used to think I couldn't survive without you. But you were wrong about me. And I was wrong about myself. His eyes filled with tears. I'm not going to help you, I continued. Not because I hate you, but because you need to face the consequences of your choices. Just like I did. Greg stared at me. The woman he used to control. The woman he thought was nothing. Now the wife of the most powerful man in the city. Greg didn't leave quietly. He shouted. He begged. Security had to escort him out of the building. At the door, he turned back one last time. You ruined my life, he said. I smiled. Not a cruel smile. Just a peaceful one. No, Greg, you ruined your own life. I just stopped letting you ruin mine. He had no response to that. I watched him walk away. A broken man shuffling down the sidewalk with nowhere to go. I should have felt something. Pity. Maybe. Or satisfaction. Instead, I felt free. That night, I went home to Victor. He was in the kitchen, cooking dinner. Something he did every Thursday since we got married. How was your day? He asked. Greg came to see me. Victor's hands stopped moving. Are you okay? Yes. I wrapped my arms around him. More than okay. He held me close. You're amazing, you know that. I do now. We ate dinner together. We talked about Emma's new job and Tyler's college applications. We laughed about silly things. A normal evening. A normal life. Something I never thought I'd have. Friend, thank you for staying with me to the very end of this story. When I started, I was a scared woman on a kitchen floor, bleeding from a wound my husband gave me. I thought that was all I would ever be. I was so wrong. I learned that strength doesn't come from nowhere. It grows. Like a flower pushing through concrete. Sometimes it takes years. Sometimes it takes a moment of courage that changes everything. I learned that the people who hurt us don't define us. Our choices define us. The moments when we decide to fight back, to stand up, to say, no more. I learned that love is possible, even after the darkest times. Victor showed me that. My children showed me that. I showed it to myself. Last week, I spoke at a conference for abuse survivors. 500 women. All of them carrying scars like mine. You are not alone, I told them. And you are stronger than you know. Afterward, a young woman approached me. Bruises on her arms. Fear in her eyes. How did you do it? She asked. How did you escape? I took her hand and smiled. One step at a time. And I never, ever stopped fighting. Friend, if you believe that every ending can be a new beginning, if you believe that even the most broken among us can heal, then please tap subscribe and join our family. You won't want to miss the stories we share next. I've picked out another story just for you. It's on your screen right now. I hope to see you there. This is Linda Chen, signing off. And remember, they can bruise you. They can break you. They can try to erase you. But they can never destroy a woman who finally learns her own worth.